Movement speed is crucially important in Splatoon. If you move faster than an opponent, it lets you kite them with longer ranged weapons, it lets you re-enter the map from getting splatted faster, so your opponents have to fight off defenders more often and score less before they do. It lets you rotate across the map to reach the objective in time to make a play on it. It's really important to move as quickly as you can to get that advantage if possible, or at least prevent your opponents from getting it over you. Outside of super jumps, which come at the risk of your jump being camped, the fastest movement option available is swimming, which also comes with the benefits of healing you and keeping you less visible than other options and letting you reload. So all movement optimization is based on swimming as much as possible and putting yourself in positions where you can re-enter squid form and swim away whenever you're threatened. Swimming fast means standing up and firing as few shots as you need to form a continuous line, and then getting back down into the ink and swimming again as soon as that's happened. Painting so you're safe in fights means having escape routes pre-painted, so that if you get chased, you have friendly ink to swim through to get yourself out at max speed. If your feet get painted, it's crucially important to repaint them again so that you can maneuver out of that fight as quickly as possible. As such, being airborne is really weak and vulnerable. You can't swim in midair. You can only swim again once you land. Therefore, you only want to jump if it's necessary to traverse an area, or if you wouldn't be able to swim anyway, like, for example, if you have a slow-firing weapon and you just want to keep moving while firing it. If you're about to swim off a ledge, don't press the jump button first. That just means that you spend more time in the air, which means you spend less time swimming, and you're ultimately going to go slower. Jumping across gaps fast means making the shortest possible jump so that you're landing and swimming sooner instead of spending more time in the air than necessary. There are some situational times to jump in combat, but we're talking more about movement here. If you want a full discussion of combat movement, I'd recommend this video I made about Splatoon 2, which is pretty much identical to a video I'd make on the subject now, except for the fact that squid rolls exist now. Speaking of squid rolls, squid rolling is pretty cool, but it's not something to overuse. Squid rolling puts you airborne, which as we've discussed is pretty slow, roughly equivalent to your speed while walking. If you can just swim somewhere, swimming is the way to go instead. If you need to change directions and that's all you need to do, substrafing is always going to be faster, because it's a method of turning around that gets you back to swimming faster, not to mention canceling the momentum you had going in the previous direction so you can get to full speed sooner. If you don't know what substrafing is, it's explained thoroughly in that video I mentioned earlier, link in the description. So if your only concern is movement and not armoring through damage or jumping off the side of a wall, the only use case where squid rolls are optimal movement are situations where you both need to change direction and jump to traverse level geometry. This does happen occasionally. Let's say you're swimming in this direction and you want to be going up this ramp. If you just turn around, it's going to take forever. If you substrafe, you're going to have to swim the full length of the ramp before you can start going in the direction you want, which will lose time. If you jump over the side, that's faster, but you're still going to take some time to turn around and accelerate in the direction you want to go. The fastest way is to squid roll as soon as the squid roll will get you over the edge. That way, you make the jump, which is a shortcut, and you land with your momentum going in the correct direction to start swimming at max speed as soon as possible. The fact that you jumped to higher ground will also make it so you spend less time in the air than if you jumped on level ground and had to fall all the way back down before you could swim again. One last technique I've discussed before, which adheres to this same principle, is ledge canceling. I'll link to a video discussing that, but in short, ledge canceling is stopping your momentum short of launching you up over the top of a wall you're climbing, so that as soon as you have the height to clear the wall, you stop climbing, don't go airborne, and land in your ink in swim form right away, again to start swimming sooner. So all of these techniques arise out of the principle of spending as much time as possible swimming at max speed. The time you save may not give you the same dopamine hit as getting a higher KA or firing off more specials, but if you really analyze a match and see the difference between someone moving quickly and someone moving slowly, you'll realize how many more opportunities you give yourself to do those things by acting quickly. and you'll also realize how many opportunities fewer you need to give yourself in order to gain control of the objective and win the game.